going on, Bish?
Oh,
What are you doing?
I haven't got a joke this week, which is really sad, but
You are a joke.
I just didn't have time, and I'll be quite honest, the well's pretty dry. So if people out there listening or watching have any, please.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Our GOA Legends Club.
Yeah.
Our lovely members.
Oh, yeah. Great,
Yeah.
yes.
Our dear members who sub.
Yeah.
For $11 a month
Yeah.
at GameOnOz.com.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions,
Yes.
let's do like a GOA's Legends question. Sorry, a GOA.
Joke.
Not a question, a joke. If you got any jokes, let's do a GOA legendary joke.
Put them in the Discord, and we'll pick one out, and I'll tell it next week.
Great idea.
I mean, guys.
Cards. Do you like my shirt, by the way?
That is epic. I saw
Yeah.
your tweet about that.
Yeah, Fortress Melbourne, which is
Did
a
they
wonderful place.
Did they reply to your tweet?
They did.
Did they?
No, they're very good at replying to tweets.
Have they got any more shirts? What does
They
it
didn't.
feel like?
They didn't answer.
Oh, it feels nice.
But somebody did say, "Hey, get this guy over there for more shirts," and they didn't reply to that one. So who knows? Maybe they're out on a lunch break.
That's right.
So you got no joke?
No.
That's fine because.
Oh, I can tell you a good story though.
Okay, tell us a good story before we get into the podcast.
Our indoor cricket side won its grand final last night,
Yep.
playing a team, the Reapit Babies. And this is a gaming theme because the Reapit Babies comes from the term Reapit, which came from when we used to play GoldenEye.
Yeah.
When you kill someone in the temple, you go, Reapit!
Yeah.
You died! You know? So the Reapit Babies was born of that era. And 13 grand finals.
Wow.
The last 13. We've won 10 of the last 13. And we won last night against a team that was undefeated all season, called the Flogs. They were a bunch of flogs because they're quite arrogant.
Nice.
To the point that I'm not kidding you. This happened last night. I smoked this bloke was going for a 6, and in his follow through as bowling, he's caught it in his hand like that.
Get out.
Wasn't even looking. It was a great catch, right?
Yeah.
And he holds the ball to me. He goes, "Can't get that past me." C word. And I went, "What?"
What?
And he goes, "Can't get that past me, mate." I went, "No, good catch, mate." Boom. Gave him a,
Yeah.
And then, but the tables were turned when we won by 3 runs.
Good team. All right, mate, let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Game on!
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Game on! Game on! It's gaming time! Excellent! Game on! Game on! It's gaming time! Excellent!
Hello, my name is Pete.
My name is Dan the Internet.
And for the next hour, we're going to bang on about games because we bloody love gaming, Dan.
And Pete, I've memorised this. We bloody love bloody gaming, don't we?
We bloody
We
love
bloody
bloody
love
game
bloody
on Bloody
gaming
Love
because
League,
it's
right.
the fucking best.
And well done to you because we are on the clock today, so we couldn't piss fart around with that one. So nice work.
I still want to do the app where we spend the whole hour.
Yeah. Great
What do we-
idea. And you'll never see it
You'll
coming
never
either.
see it
You'll
coming.
never. The only time you will know we've spent the whole hour is when it gets to 59, 59, and 99 on the clock and goes tick 60. and
Bloody
we've
gaming!
Spent the whole hour. Looking forward to it.
Love it.
Welcome to you watching on Twitch, and also welcome to you listening to us on the podcast as well. Great to have your ears, great to have your eyes, and great to have you bloody gamers just gaming around. Game on, you legends. We love it.
And can I tell you a real quick story actually about how gaming
Oh,
works?
another story,
Oh,
Dan.
yeah,
Is it going to be one of those podcasts today?
This actually involves our gaming community. So
That's great.
I had a friend reach out. So this girl I've not seen in 20 years. Went to high school with her. Her name's Dom. And she private messaged me on Saturday. Dan, I'm a terrible parent. My son's birthday is today. I want to buy him a PS5.
Oh, yeah.
and
I got
I
one
just-
of those during the week too.
Yeah, and she goes, I have no idea where to go. I didn't realise they're not in stock. It's his birthday today. That's why I'm a terrible parent. Where can I go? And I said, well, you know what? Bloody gamers love helping out fellow gamers.
Certainly do.
This is an opportunity to bring a young kid and make him one of ours.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I'll put something on our socials, which we don't usually do, but he's a friend of mine. I thought I will give it a go. And the community reached out, and she ended up getting an Xbox One Series X.
Still a bloody console.
And he apparently was stoked.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like, that Nintendo It's a Nintendo!
Yeah,
Yeah.
the famous Christmas 1996 footage.
I have a feeling
yeah.
it was similar sort of scene.
Well done, you
So thank you,
gaming community. Thank you.
And you know, that's just where we are. That's where we're at, isn't it, gamers?
It is where
we just
we're at.
love each other.
It is where we're at. So thank you all so much for diving in on that. We appreciate it. Hey, by the way, a couple of shout-outs. Pentanet and Lenovo Legion.
Yes.
A couple of our dear, wonderful partners. Of course, many great things. Lenovo Legion will call out their winner of the art competition.
Did we win?
It wasn't us. I tried to submit it, and they said, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. Clearly. Which is very cool, and some great things on the way from Pentanet as well.
Did they say, oh, no, your 7-year-old's not meant to paint it for you? I was like, no, well, it was me.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's very cool. And hello to our GOA Legends Club members, the wonderful people who pay $11 a month to support GOA and all the things that we're doing, but get so many amazing things out of it as well, including what we're looking at right now, your own secret channel within our Discord, discord.gameonoz.com. It is free to join the Discord, but yes, they get the GOA subscribers channel.
Yes.
And we will be answering your questions.
Or telling your jokes.
Or telling your jokes a little bit later on in this podcast. So, bloody wonderful. Thank you so much. Dan Cross, we've got some stuff to cover.
We have, haven't we? Let's
really
dive in,
do.
Pete.
Should we dive in?
It's been another big week of gaming.
It has been another big week of gaming, and there's just been some things going on. And at GameOnOz.com right now, they've got the April game releases. And I could go through all of them as I tend to do, and we sort of had a bit of a chat about the ones that really stick out to us. But there is one in particular, and it's called Outriders.
Oh, it looks good.
That I'm really looking forward to.
Look
I've
at
been seeing a lot of ads about it.
Yep.
PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S as well. Comes out on April Fool's Day, which happens to be tomorrow, unless you're listening to this on the podcast.
Which is yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Going back in time.
I don't know that song. What's that song?
Oh, it's an old 80s classic.
Really?
Yeah, which is why you wouldn't have been born probably when it came out.
Oh, 85.
Yeah, this is probably 84, I reckon.
Oh, can I just tell you something really quickly while we're talking about classics? On the radio show that I do, Breakfast, Pete, Matt and Kimber on Mix 94.5 in Perth, I just got told by our executive producer that we have been offered an interview with the original voice of Donatello and Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What, the 80s version?
Like the 80s
Get
version.
out.
Like legit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And while we're on the subject of interviews, just quickly, had some very positive feedback from the company behind the rollout of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yes,
the new movie coming up that's been shot in South Australia.
Yes.
And fingers crossed, because the director is actually a Perth bloke.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a Q&A session, and also Josh Lawson, who plays Kano. So stay tuned, you big bananas.
Booyah.
But yes, April games releases looking really good. Oddworld, Soulstorm. Now, I want to ask you about Oddworld just quickly. Do you remember Oddworld?
Yeah, I do.
Do you remember the commercials for Abe's Odyssey?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
What do you remember about them? This is the one that I want to ask you
I just
about.
remember
What do you
Abe.
remember?
Really?
Is that it?
Yeah, I remember him being prominent
Right.
in the ads, which makes sense because it's his game.
I remember the fact that he farts.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he does too.
farts
Yeah.
towards the end of the actual ad.
Yeah.
He farts, and that game literally wanted me to, because it was on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it literally made me want to get a PlayStation because I was like, wow, I've never seen somebody fart
Do you know
like in
that
an ad before.
that'd be a great gaming big question.
Really?
What was the trigger that made you want the next console?
Great idea.
Well, not today, but we'll do it another time. Bank that one.
Bank that one, because I can tell you a great story about...
Oh, your story now, is it?
Somebody's got to provide some light and shade.
Yeah.
And another one, just quickly, this is for old school fans, but, for those of you who will remember this on Nintendo 64, but we're getting a new version of it, Pokemon Snap is coming to Nintendo Switch at the end of this month, at the end of April.
Switch, because that'd be good, actually. Yeah.
Pokemon Snap. So
I feel like the Switch... I feel like we need a new title for the Switch.
What do you mean?
In terms of, I feel like it's the Switch's time to bring out something big.
Well, they're doing that next year.
Next year?
Yeah, so...
No, I know they're doing the new Switch, but...
But what are you talking about? Something?
We
Or are
need
you
a
talking
big-
about
a
Nintendo in
big
general
game,
bringing
just
out...
a big game.
A big game?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like it's
like
been
a
a while.
real groundbreaker. You're
Yeah.
talking like Legend of Zelda Breath
Yeah,
of the Wild.
correct.
Type.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, look,
tack on another Mario Kart.
Excuse me. Oh. Mate, you know what's going to happen there. All they're going to do is just round up a fucking dozen different courses from all of the other Mario Karts they've ever produced, and then put them all together in a nice, neat new package.
To this day, I know they've recreated some of the tracks for one of the Mario Karts I've played, but to get a full cart of Mario 64 on the Switch would be awesome.
Oh, it would be cool to get a remaster of that. Yeah. Rainbow Road from N64.
Piss off with your Rainbow Road.
What do you mean piss off?
Mate, it was Warrior Stadium, #1.
Yeah, no, okay. Warrior Stadium was
Ghost
good.
was the Ghost track. I love that track.
Hang on. The Ghost track was...
What was it called?
Ghost track...
Mario 64.
Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart. Why I like that is because it actually involved... You had to hug lines. Racing lines to that was a great track, ironically, or coincidentally, for the Ghost mode. Which I love that mode. I love that idea of racing yourself.
Yeah. I used to like that a lot too. That's how I used to get better. I can't remember what the name of it actually was. I can't see it.
And you're welcome, everyone listening or watching, because they're sitting there going, "It was! Holy you guys by yourself, gamers!
Dickheads!" Game modes, playable characters. Why aren't the courses actually in the wiki?
Well, that's exactly right.
Well, that's just ridiculous,
isn't it?
That is disgusting. That is I am disgusted to not. Hang on. No, not in there.
Not in there.
Hang on.
Good on your wiki.
No,
good on you, Julian Assange.
Wow, that's terrible. I'm shocked at that. I'm absolutely shocked.
Anyway, back to your original. So yeah, I feel like Nintendo need something.
No, I'm not anyway, because I'm pissed off about this now. Nintendo 64 Mario Kart
Tracks.
courses.
Yeah, courses. Yeah.
What were they?
Here we go.
Toad's Turnpike, Rainbow Road, Yoshi Valley,
Banshee Boardwalk.
Banshee
Boardwalk.
Banshee
but
Boardwalk.
You don't remember what it looked like? It was the one where they...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the wannabe Rainbow Road. That's exactly what it was. Man,
it was the dark and stormy Rainbow Road, really, wasn't it? I mean,
it
Rainbow
really
Road was so happy and colourful. Good music. Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel Nintendo needs to bring, and I'm sure they've got something planned, hopefully. They need a good old-fashioned first-party title. That's theirs.
I'm very interested to know what the next Mario is, because they've done their re-releases.
Surely it's going to be coincide with the new console.
Maybe. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll need a good reason to actually get people like me who already have the Nintendo Switch a reason to upgrade. Because I'm your savvy gamer now, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm your bloke who's got all the consoles and all that sort of stuff, and I could upgrade to the Switch, but I'm like, okay, is a slightly bigger screen and 4K graphics really resolution really enough for me to move across?
Yeah.
Probably not. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, like, you're also, as a company like Nintendo, you're still quite early in the Nintendo Switch's life cycle.
Yeah.
Enough to to not put any caveats over if we release something and we're only going to be able to release it for the Pro.
Yes.
I mean, how do you even control that sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we shall see. Hey, so let's move on. By the way, the April game releases, if you want to see the full list, are at GameOnOz.com.
A lot of great content going through that. I mean, there always is, but seriously, the last week or so has been humming along on that website.
Probably the greatest website you've ever seen.
Well, it's the greatest gaming website of all time.
Without
let's
a doubt.
be honest.
No, I'd go as far as website. Really? Like, fuck Facebook. Okay.
Pornhub, Yawnhub.
I was going to try one for RedTube, but I can't think of anything. Okay.
I can.
What?
No, I was going to say DeadTube.
Yeah, no, that'll do.
Oh, yeah. But then it brings into...
YouTube, more like PooTube.
You got it, yes!
All right, hey, this off PC Gamer. This one talking, a bit of talk at the moment, Disco Elysium, the final cut, I said cut, is banned in Australia, but this has just appeared as of today, the 31st of March 2021. It's still available in Australia on PC.
PC.
So can I just run you through this really
Yes,
quick?
please.
When originally released in 2019, Disco Elysium was only available online and so wasn't submitted to Australia's Classification Board, a government body responsible for the regulation of movies, publications, and games. They're the guys who put the little letter
Yeah.
on the games and basically say this is, an M15 plus or R-rated or R8, whatever.
Yeah.
Disco Elysium's expanded Final Cut edition, which went on sale as of today, was planned to have a physical release and so had to go before the board where it was refused classification. Though Disco Elysium's portrayal of drug addiction is hardly a glowing advertisement, Taking Speed does give a +1 to your motorics and psych stats. According to the guidelines for the classification of computer games, illicit or prescribed drug use related to incentives or rewards means a game is automatically refused classification and selling, distributing, publicly exhibiting, advertising, or importing it into Australia becomes a criminal offence. First point here. Because there's people out there who've probably gone, all right, well, it's got drugs in it, but so do lots of games. Let's break this down for just a moment and go back. Taking Speed gives you a +1 to your motorics and psych stats. So it's a buff. Taking Speed in this game is a buff. It positively impacts your playing ability in this game.
Yeah.
God, I'm so on the fence about this.
Well, Peter, it's interesting you bring this up because I recently watched a documentary on Netflix about World War II.
Okay.
And in that war, Germany gave their pilots speed to keep them flying for as long as they did.
Yeah.
So historically, it's there.
Are you saying that we should have refused classification for the Great War? Is that
Well,
where you're
probably
going
should have
with this?
actually, yeah. But the point being is that I find this very interesting that they think monkey see, monkey do when it comes to games like this. I think kids playing a game where you have some speed that gives you a life boost aren't going to connect that with, having speed makes me a better person or better, performer, right? However, I have it as a parent myself, and same with you. You want to protect your kids. I just think it's realistic to think that kids are going to be exposed to drugs no matter how much you protect them. In this day and age, particularly.
I agree with that.
And it's about you more as a parent to educate them on why or why not.
Look, I would love to dive in.
I mean, this is a whole
into
other
that
podcast.
pool, right? But
Would you?
I would and go for a good swim and enjoy the moment.
Did you say good?
Good, great
Oh,
swim.
I thought you said nude swim.
Nude swim's fine.
That's
I was assuming we would be nude. But okay, oh god, this is a hot potato.
This is a big deep.
This is the reason why it's a hot potato, right? Because I, as a 35-year-old adult, can play this game and then not immediately go, well, that was fun, I'm going to go and take speed.
Yeah.
Right? The thing that I cannot, to a degree, control is my kids playing this game. Now, I don't care what anybody says about kids and R18 classifications and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I played R18 plus games when I
you were
was
14.
13,
Yeah.
14,
Yeah, me too.
15. I watched movies I shouldn't have been watching when
Mind
I
you,
was that age.
All my games at my age were all 8-bit. Is that a syringe? No, it's a gun.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you're not. I think there has to be. Everybody's shitty at the Australian Classification Board.
Yeah.
Right. But I think there has to be someone who puts a wall up and goes, all right, for the good of whatever, is this something we can really let fly? Now, again, as a 35-year-old man who can control all of those sorts of urges and couldn't give a shit about taking drugs or anything like that, I can make the difference between this as a game and it's not real life.
Yeah, not real life,
right?
Yeah.
And so I would like to put my hand up and go, hey, guys, why can't I play it? Why can't I buy it off the shelves and, that sort of stuff?
Because I'm a 35-year-old man and I
can control
make
himself.
rational decisions, yeah.
And their argument would probably be, well, you're not like all 35-year-old men or women or people.
No, you're bloody not,
Oh,
mate.
thanks,
you
mate. I
are
appreciate
special.
But I think the question remains then, do you do you protect, as the classification board, is your thinking, we're here to protect the people that this may affect in lieu of the people that it won't?
Yeah.
Or are you here setting standards that you're hoping to Christ will actually hold other things to account that you may not have even thought of yet?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And again, I'm completely on board with you on that. You know, the funny thing about these kind of stories is that clearly people write articles about it, and then kids who are 14, 15 probably hear about it anyway.
Yeah, they would, and they'd be talking about this at school.
Yeah,
There's no doubt that would be the case.
Yeah. Just as a point too, imagine that as your bloody job.
What?
Like a game classifier with that regulation board.
I'd hate to be a game classifier.
I reckon
You would be the most despised person on earth.
No, you wouldn't tell people. You secret job, and you go to. All you do is playing games all
What
that.
do you do? I stack shelves of Kmart. Just a little bit more from this story, because obviously, as I mentioned, you know, even though there's no physical release, it's still on Steam.
Yes.
So previously, games that fell afoul of the same rule, like Wasteland 3 and Fallout 3, were altered to either remove similar interactions or more blatantly fictionalize their drugs. Disco Elysium was not, which is why it's a surprise to see Disco Elysium, the final cut, on sale in Australia on Steam, GOG, and the Epic Games Store, though it hasn't shown up on the PlayStation Store here and presumably won't.
Yep.
They're obviously a little bit more conservative.
Yep.
Anyone who already owns Disco Elysium receives the final cut as a free update, and we were expecting that to sneak past. It has. He just fired it up. The person who wrote this, loaded an old save, was immediately abused by a fully voiced Cuno. But we weren't expecting it to remain on sale, given that Hotline Miami 2, for instance, still can't be purchased here. However, other games that were refused classification in Australia, like Katana Zero, which is mind-blowing that was, Mother Russia Bleeds, and Super Blood Hockey. I mean, listen to that for a game. Super Blood Hockey. It says everything, doesn't it?
It's obviously ice hockey. That can be a super bloody game. So
have remained available on multiple digital storefronts. Perhaps Disco Elysium will join them in quietly persisting, or perhaps it'll disappear. Probably best to grab a copy now, just in case.
Yeah. And there's that element too, is that there's certainly gamers out there that want that, you know, I've got that version of the game. Oh, cool, man, you know. So, I mean, I don't think it's something we'll ever solve, to be honest with you. I just think...
what, as in who's right in drawing that line?
Yeah, because clearly Australia's probably a bit more harsh on it than other countries.
We are a little bit more conservative. But can I just tell you this, right? So if we're comparing ourselves to America, for example, you know... let's talk about gun control.
Yeah, well,
yeah. You know,
clearly.
we were the country. There's a lot of people probably listening to this or watching this right now who are probably too young to understand what happened when the Great Buyback was brought around, and that was John Howard after the massacre
in Port Arthur. Yeah,
there you go, the Port Arthur massacre. Thank you. After the Port Arthur massacre, that was the reaction to it. It was like the government actually came and bought back semi-automatic weapons and all that sort of stuff. Now, here we are, you know, 20 years on from that having happened. And I remember the conversations going around at the time. Like, you know, my father, he's as straight and narrow as you'll find and a great bloke, but he had semi-automatics.
Yeah.
Right? But our family are hunters.
We also, you go to shooting clubs too, don't you?
We go to shooting clubs and all that sort of stuff. He had semi-automatics. They had to give him back. There was a lot of, this is shit. I can't believe we have to do this, so on and so forth. But if you make that comparison with America, look at how often we hear over here, and I guess it's probably, you know, inflated a bit by our media because it's an opportunity for our media to go, look how great Australia is. You know, how often and how easy it is to buy automatic and semi-automatic weapons in America, and how often we hear about shootings and stuff. Now, therein lies a clear argument
that Australia's doing it right. If you're
somebody, you know, who's on the conservative side of things going, no, well, I agree with it. I mean, there's, you know, yes, we are a little bit more conservative compared to a place like America where you could buy Disco Elysium physically.
Yeah.
But, you know, therein lies a number of different issues by comparison that they have that we don't.
Yeah. I know, you know, my brother's beautiful wife is from America, and my brother lived there for quite a few years back here now. But he told me he once went to her brother's house in I don't know where they live. He had 9 guns, and he the first thing he showed him, look at my guns.
Yeah, look at my guns.
And it's clearly part of, I guess, a lot of the mentality over there with a lot of people over there is it's almost a sense of pride.
Yeah,
you know. So.
And look, don't get me wrong, mate. That sense of pride exists here too. Like, between myself, my father, and my brother, we co-licensed 12 guns.
Yeah,
and you know, me and my brother and the boys will have a card night on a Friday night or something once a month and be like, yeah, hey, mate, just, bought another bolt action.
Yeah.
3003, mate, you should see this. There is a bit of a sense of pride there if you are someone that's into that
It's like
sort of
fishing
stuff.
rods, right?
Right.
Yeah.
My dad, by the way, has about 80 fishing rods.
Your dad sounds like a legend.
He's a legend.
Dad,
He's a legend, and he only uses one.
yeah, right.
That's the thing. He only uses one.
So he's like, that's where you got your love of gaming, stuff from your dad.
Yeah.
Because you got lots of gaming stuff.
I do have lots of gaming stuff. I'm a collector.
Yeah.
You're right. It was his fault.
Yeah, bloody.
Let's move on. There's
All right.
obviously a lot of discussion in that.
That's a whole podcast. We'll
That's
do
a
it
whole- yeah.
another time.
Hey, we'll spend a bit of time on this and then probably just dive straight into GOA Legends Club members, really.
Sure.
But this was I just found this completely mind blowing. But again, this is a bit of a fence sitter. Police bust world's biggest video game cheat operation.
Yes.
No, look at this. Take a look at that.
Oh my God.
So-
There's like 4 or 5.
These are several luxury sports cars, and right now we're looking at a picture of
I'll put it up.
Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Maseratis,
Yeah.
the Mercedes Jeeps.
Yeah.
I say Mercedes Jeeps. That's I think oxymoron's the word for it. Mercedes Jeeps, big Mercedes SUVs.
Mm-hmm.
Get a load of this. This is from the BBC.
Mm.
Hello, BBC.
Hello, BBC.
And with the BBC comes this voice as well. Yes. Hello and welcome to the BBC.
Yes.
A collaborative effort between Chinese police and gaming giant Tencent has led to the closure of what police say is the biggest ever video game cheat operation. The gang designed and sold cheats to popular video games, including Overwatch and Call of Duty Mobile. Roughly 76 million, that's 55 million pounds, in revenue was made by the organisation, which charged a subscription fee to clients.
Wowzers.
Just like we do. Whoa.
But we don't cheat.
And we don't have Ferraris.
No. No, we certainly don't.
Police seized assets worth 46 million, including several luxury cars, as we mentioned. The operation was called Chicken Drumstick.
Yes.
That's so good.
Bloody yes.
And had a website selling to hundreds of countries and regions. Subscription prices for users began at around $10 a day and up to $200 a month. Now, we've played plenty of games. You play Fortnite, and I played a lot of PUBG, where we would have issues with hackers and cheaters.
The latest Modern Warfare is the same thing, yep.
Kunshan, I hope I've said that right, police found and destroyed 17 cheats and arrested 10 people in connection with the ring.
Oh, this is unreal.
It said it was the world's biggest cheating case due to large sums of money and games involved.
That is epic.
Now, up until the next point that I read, I was like, I hate cheaters.
So,
I hate
yeah,
them.
100%.
I hate them so much.
As much as we bloody love gamers and gaming, we bloody hate cheaters.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate cheaters.
As an organisation, we stand against cheaters.
100%.
I can say that.
We really do.
Yeah.
But, is it really like a criminal offence? I mean, think about it. Like,
Well,
what
yeah.
is the criminal offence here? You know, this
Actually-
company has worked out cheats to games.
It's a very interesting point.
And the thing is, like,
What law have they broken?
Well, my argument is that, the cheats have been around in games for years. These guys are using them to sell money. That if you wanted to sell money, to make money. I mean, if you wanted to get really deep into it, there are issues around things like IP protection.
Yeah.
Things like they actually have to break
the code.
the code
Yeah,
and
yeah.
commercial IP
Yeah.
to be able to create these
Yeah,
cheats
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that sort of stuff, right? And then I read this, and it made a bit more sense to me. With players able to win millions in gaming tournaments around the world, a crackdown on cheating was intensified in recent years. In 2019, a survey revealed around a third of gamers admit to using cheats to improve their chances online. Several high-profile gamers have also quit platforms over the rise of cheating on some games.
Right.
That made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now you're actually starting to impact something greater than just the actual game itself.
Yeah.
It's greater than just a bloke sitting, in the final ring against another bloke and lobbing a grenade, and that bloke not dying.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right.
You know what I mean? Like this is actually bigger. It's actually affecting things like world's tournaments and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I get it. So yeah, those were where my head went with all of this sort of stuff.
Well, it's if you know that history of gaming on Netflix, that
Yeah.
miniseries. Remember
Yeah.
the dude that modded arcade boards. I'm pretty sure it was PacMan.
I still haven't watched the documentary.
Oh, Peter! Holy shit! So we're going to line up The King of Kong, the greatest gaming movie ever made.
Yeah, I know.
You haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the South Park where they...
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Where that is one of the greatest South Parks of all time. And you haven't seen this documentary about gaming.
No, I haven't,
What the fuck
mate.
do you do? Apart from being the
mate.
busiest man in the world.
Fuck, exactly.
Anyway, in the documentary, spoiler alert, one of the dudes that became one of the titans of gaming, and forgive me, I can't remember his name or what, I'm pretty sure it was PacMan. He was going around arcades and modding the boards. So, and I can't remember why. It was something to do with more levels or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He ended up, so essentially he was breaking the law, but they ended up hiring him or buying his company or doing something. He ended up making a lot of money out of it. The point being is that it's been around for years. And I sort of get your point. As much as it annoys me that these dudes are doing what they're doing, they're not really. I mean, to me, it's sort of entrepreneurial, really. You know, like
yeah, and that's why I sort of
my
in that. Yeah,
my beef's more with the people who are buying it or subscribing.
yeah. No, you're right. I really genuinely agree with you there. Like, don't get me wrong. I know these guys have broken some laws around commercial IP, but at the same time, like, they're not killing anyone. They're not running drugs. They're not, neither. Like, they're just mucking around with a video game. Like, that's. Yeah,
I mean, it's a pretty cool job,
that's a great job.
You got a girlfriend or boyfriend who's pretty much in love with your Maserati because you break games.
Go your good thing. You know what I guess would be quite interesting, and maybe this is one for me to actually follow up with our Indie or Die series, which is our other podcast series where we chat to independent developers. And maybe it's the sort of thing where I should tap a few of those people and go, hey, this is the scene here. What are your thoughts on it? And they may have some perspectives that we've never thought of before.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, the beauty of, I guess, probably a blessing, but also a curse with gamers is that they're generally technically very competent people.
Very.
So you get people who, for example, the GTA. Remember all the mods that came out in GTA 5? Like, I love the story of the dude that created the Aussie cop car.
Mate,
that to me is excellent. Like,
yeah,
and
100%.
if I was a game developer, I'd encourage that.
But they're adding to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not creating. They're not creating cheats.
And it comes back to my original. Like,
they're enriching the game.
As a person who's gamed his whole life, pretty much, I just and this also leads into my everything part of my life, my work life, my sports life, whatever. I can't understand how people feel the need to cheat to win a game. I don't.
Well, we've discussed
it's
this
such
before,
a
haven't we?
hollow victory to me,
Well, because the idea behind playing a game is to skill up to be able to get to that next level, isn't it?
I mean, you talked about last week your epic, massive victory against WizPig, one of the greatest moments in gaming history ever.
Oh, without a doubt.
You beat WizPig. Now imagine if you'd done that with a cheat.
Okay, but let me put this to you, right? For a lot of people out there, has the mark changed? So has the aim changed? So for example, right?
Oh, I get you.
We're talking about playing games in a time where you didn't get things like cosmetic items.
No. Well, and quite often you're just playing the computer.
Yeah, like you're playing the computer, or you didn't get things like cosmetic items.
Yeah.
There was no social media, so there was no such thing as like doing trick shots to get a shit ton of likes to build a shitload of subscribers.
Yeah,
to
that's true.
Make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Like for us, all we had really was the pride of beating the game or finding unlockables inside the game.
The only people that heard about your victory against Queens in WizPig was about the population of Queen's Park.
It was.
Right?
Mum and dad.
Your mum and dad, and every neighbour within a kilometre.
And every person who listens to this podcast ever since too. So interesting. Crazy times.
Crazy
mate.
times.
Crazy
mate,
times.
honestly.
Crazy times.
Yeah. Again, it's just one thing I never ever thought I'd read was a big criminal bust about cheating gamers. That's hilarious.
Crazy times.
Anyway, let's dive in, mate. What have we got?
Just really quickly, there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about. I was just going to let this one go, but there is one other thing that I wanted to quickly make mention. Let's see. Oh, I'll say this really quickly. The Witcher 4, so Witcher 3 is where we're up to, and we've had that for like 50 years. It just keeps getting remastered, re-released on, on optimized and stuff. Has gotten a boost. CD Projekt Red says it will start parallel AAA projects in 2022. So they haven't actually said that They're going to be making The Witcher 4. Just that they've said that.
But there's some AAA projects on the books.
Well, look, the tweet themselves that they released has got a side-by-side picture of the back of old mate from The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, what's his name? I have this issue every single time we do a podcast.
That's why you got Google, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You're a busy guy.
I know.
People don't realise how busy you are. You're always on.
I don't like that this happens to my head. Gerald, thank you. So it's got a picture. Look at this picture.
Yeah.
It's got the swords from Gerald.
Yeah.
Right? And on the other side, it's actually got the jacket from Cyberpunk 2077.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Right? So parallel AAA development, obviously, they're saying we're going to do Witcher stuff and we're going to do Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Which they released their update, by the way, for what they're going to be bringing in the next patch.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077, and you will not get through that list before the end of the year. So I'm not going to go through it now. And the other thing is Pokemon Go, which is a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Right? You know what Pokemon Go is.
I know
Don't you?
Pokemon Go.
Get around
Never
there.
played it.
You never played it?
No.
Mate, I was one of the many
You were.
dickheads
Yeah, I saw
at
you.
11 o'clock at night
Yeah, I
going to
remember.
King's Park
Yes.
trying to find a fucking Blastoise.
No,
Like, it just...
I'm never interested, but I remember you being very interested.
Yeah, very much so. They're releasing a new PacMan app.
Yeah, right.
That's very much along the same lines as get out there and go for a walk.
Yeah,
So
cool.
That's kind of cool. But really quickly, that other story that I wanted to touch on, and I don't know how I feel about this, is that Amnesia Rebirth, which is a very, very scary game, now has a less scary adventure mode. All right, so
it's scary light.
Well, yeah. Well, essentially, the gist of it is monsters won't attack you, and everything's not as dark.
Ah, what? What's
So,
the point?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, what's the actual point? Players can expect a slightly brighter and light-hearted version of the game overall. Changes include monsters that don't attack you unless provoked, a fear meter that isn't affected by darkness, and a few new puzzles as well. This mode allows players that can't really stomach horror to experience the game's unique theme, story, and environments. Frictional Games says of the new adventure mode.
So it's gone from Texas Chainsaw Massacre to Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gone from full-on dark,
Yeah.
shit scary horror to a bit of a laugh.
It's gone from a bloke walking around with a chainsaw cutting people up to a bloke walking into Makita with a chainsaw going, hey, I need some oil. I need this serviced. What's it going to cost me? Yeah, sure, mate. That's great. That's
and then, by the way, cut his head off. Yeah.
Look, you know what? I just having had a bit of time to think about it, I don't mind it so much. Like at the end of the day, if for them, if you're looking at it from the perspective of the people who've made the game, they're probably looking at it going, you know what? We're a horror game, but we also have to sell copies.
Oh, they've probably market segmented. You know, there's a certain percentage of horror fans who are a bit too scared by this game. Let's target them.
Well, I hate horror games and I hate horror films.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
I went and saw The Ring with a girl that I'd just started seeing, and I spent most of it hiding behind her. I'd never heard of the movie before. Hello, Carla. I'd never heard of the movie before, and she was like, I really want to go and see it. I'm like, okay, cool. The Ring sounds like a romantic comedy. Yeah. And we wandered in, and it's like,
oh, no.
Like all that shit, and I've spent anyway. So, like from their perspective, it probably works. They probably go, well, this will mean that a few more people actually pick up the game. Because I wouldn't pick up the game.
Nah.
You know what I mean? But now,
you might now.
I might now. So, mate,
let's dive in.
Let's dive in. So, our wonderful GOA subscribers, our GOA Legends Members Club, these are the guys that pay $11 a month for their subscription to GOA, and we thank you so much. It's not a Twitch subscription.
No.
It's different from Twitch subscription. If you go to GameOnOz.com and check out Legends Club, you'll see the link right at the top on the homepage. This is like all of the really good stuff. And can I just tell you, we sent out our first members email during the week, which has got an incredible 1 hour long basics of streaming video that our guys Lukey Bangers, Rogue Sultana, and Menthonzo put together.
Yeah, fantastic.
Where they literally break it down for you. If you're someone who's looking to get into content creation and in particular streaming, all of the things that you'll potentially come across, some issues that you might have, things that you'll need to set yourself up, very basic sort of stuff. And that is just for exclusive members.
Yes.
So
fantastic.
Get there. Plus there's deals with Pentanet, there's deals with Lenovo Legion.
Yep.
As we've mentioned before, the exclusive code you get through Lenovo Legion by being our member will save you over $1,000 on a brand new laptop or PC or something like that.
Amazing.
Which is 10 years of membership.
Amazing.
And we're adding more to it all the time.
Yep.
Danny boy. Oh, can I just say one more thing? So the first 250 members get the special key ring.
The key ring.
The special key ring. So,
my precious.
gamers love to collect things. 20 members so far.
Yeah,
I'm really
fantastic.
proud of, so
Awesome.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
But they are all the people, also the people that have a
Contributing.
secret group inside our Discord.
Yes.
And they get to ask us questions that we answer in the GOA Weekly
Yes,
show
they
every
do.
week. So let's dive in. This is from Gamma. Gamma says, my question, what would you guys say is the greatest AFL game ever made? His would be AFL 99 on PC due to having good graphics for its time and has Bruce McAvaney and Lee Matthews on commentary. Blue Nut for life. Your day.
Gamma, 100%. I played that game, and at the time, I think it looks pretty terrible now in retrospect, but at the time, it was pretty cutting edge. I was so stoked that we had an AFL game. It always pissed me off that being an AFL lover and a sports lover, that's why I love NFL, is because the only football game I could find back in the day was the John Madden games. And TV Sports Football, which is an old Amiga game.
TV Sports Football.
That was an amazing game, actually. So, in a way, it's a bit of a blessing and a curse. It gave me a love of NFL, and I do love my NFL, but I always wanted to play an AFL game, and yeah, I think he's dead right.
For me, it's Aussie Rules Footy, which actually came out on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, yeah.
And it's more of a case of there's been better release games since then, but for me, it's the memories.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first game. The game was actually released in 1991.
Yeah.
The teams in the game, we've got 18 teams in the AFL now.
Yes.
Are based on 14 of 15 teams in the 91 AFL season.
Okay.
However, despite West Coast Eagles players being depicted on the game's cover within the game itself, the Western Australian team, the Eagles, was simply known as Perth.
Oh.
So you could play as
Oh,
Perth,
there you go.
not the West Coast Eagles. And of course, in 1992, when the game really took off, the Eagles played the Cats in the grand final.
Wowzers.
And won that one, didn't they? 92 and
92, 94, yeah.
Yeah.
I would just love, and we've talked to Daniel Visser
We have talked
from
to Daniel
Wicked
Visser,
Witch,
yeah.
who made one of the AFL games about this.
Well, AFL Evolution.
Their budgets, and I think from memory said that FIFA spend the budget that they had for their game, the AFL game, they spend it on their loading screen.
Yeah.
So I would love, clearly it's a budget thing, because there's never really been a really kick-ass football game or cricket game, in my opinion. There were some great cricket games back in the 80s. They haven't even come close. So I'd love one of the teams that the big EA or the whatever who make these sports games to set themselves a challenge. Let's capture AFL. It's such a unique game. That ball itself, the way I remember Daniel saying how the mechanics about making the ball bounce the right way for an oblong shaped ball was So anyway.
Great question. Go back through our history, by the way. You'll find those podcasts. Just search Daniel Visser and Game on Australia, and they're very interesting listening. In addition, fictional teams based in Darwin, Canberra, and Hobart were actually playable in the game.
It was truly AFL.
Truly AFL.
Not 14 teams out of Melbourne.
God, that's gold. Okay, let's see. What have we got here? So thanks, Gam. We appreciate it. Here we go. We'll dive into this one from Blue Streak. Hey gang, my question, what's a character from one franchise you'd love to see pop up in another franchise or game, either playable or as an NPC cameo? Example, Joel from The Last of Us showing up in a Resident Evil game, or a Samus/Star Fox team up.
That is an excellent question.
It makes great sense, Blue. That is a wonderful question. And I think I like that line of thought where the character that you're thinking of has to appear in a game that makes sense.
Yeah.
So 100% Samus makes sense in Star Fox because obviously it's all set in space.
Yeah.
Joel from The Last of Us appearing in Resident Evil, like we're talking battling zombies, 100% that sort of stuff makes sense.
Yeah.
So roll that one around in your head.
In my head, I've got Marcus Phoenix in Borderlands.
Oh, that's a ripper.
Yeah. I reckon that'll work.
Marcus Phoenix in Borderlands.
Yeah. Marcus Phoenix probably a bit too, not kick-ass, not the right word, but he's a bit too edgy for the more, not cartoony, but Borderlands had a unique style about it. But I do like the idea of a guy with a chainsaw gun
Yeah.
Welcome in.
Well, would you
Borderlands.
let them muck around with his facade? Like, would
Yeah,
you love to see Marcus Phoenix in the Borderlands style?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mate, I really don't know.
It's a bloody great question.
It's a doozy of a question, and it might be something like I'm really impressed with yours. Like legit, really impressed. It ticks all the boxes for me. I want to give that one some thought.
Okay.
And I'll come back to it because I really like.
Think Nintendo.
Yeah, I know, but it kind of feels easy to say. Oh, put Mario in in
In,
The Legend of Zelda.
in a Donkey Kong game.
Right. Exactly, right? Well, that wasn't done before. But I'm such a fan of the deep dive into lore and history around a game in terms of the settings of the game. Right? So, looking into the universe and stuff like that. And I want to go and find a couple of games where I'm like, there is a universe here that might be set somewhere that we don't quite know, but it actually does exist. And that means that character could quite realistically appear in this game. You know what I mean? So,
well, if you can't think about it, we can always film a video later on as bonus content.
Yeah, okay.
Bonus content.
My God. So I'm going to give that one some
have a thought, because that is a fantastic question.
It is an absolute
well played,
doozy of a
Blue
question.
Nut.
Yep, well played. Got him. Yeah.
You gave me a look then.
Now, I'm gonna leave Styx's one till last.
Yeah.
We'll go to Mercury.
Yeah.
By the way, hello to Mercury.
Hello,
he
Mercury.
is my mentee.
Oh, very good.
So one other thing for our GOA subscribers, our GOA Legends members, is that we have a mentorship program as well. So if you're someone out there wanting to learn more about things and want some one-on-one time, Mercury is doing some great things in esports, wants to build his stuff.
Yep.
I, of course, a general manager for Pentanet.gg, League of
Yep.
Legends in the LCO. And I'm catching up with him today.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. At Mercury, what is the one game that you have never had the chance to play / fully experience, yet haven't been able to, and why?
Say again.
Ding, 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 ding.
What is one? What's
the one game you have never had the chance to play / fully experience, yet haven't been able to, and why?
Witcher 3.
Why?
Time. I just haven't.
Time thing, isn't it?
It's a time thing. I've got it. I got it on Game Pass, and I've seen it, and it's there, and I just haven't had a good block of time to play it, and I will.
This is a very similar question. I think one we
Excellent
tackled
question,
last
Ian.
week. Excellent question. Which is like one game on a console that you never had that you wish you had that you could play.
Yeah.
So I like for me. I mean, like Halo comes to mind immediately.
Yeah.
And that's pure. Like these days, it's purely because of time. Because I could pick Halo up if I wanted to. But one thing that one game that I never got to play, which I always wish that I had done, is Conker's Bad Fur Day on Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Because everybody else got to play that game.
I'm pretty sure Rare Replay's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And it's there.
Yep. So I don't know.
But it doesn't translate well. Like I tried playing it.
Oh well, I don't know, man.
It's got its little kitschy little retro feel to it. It really has, but I didn't enjoy it when I played it.
As in the jokes and the comedy don't
No, that's all
translate
good.
well?
No, that's good. It's more the blocky graphics.
Gameplay.
Yeah.
Right, because funnily enough, like I've been playing Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, that's different. That
for some reason holds up.
amazingly so. That is a phenomenal franchise.
It's ridiculous how much that holds up. I'm really enjoying
all three
playing
games.
it still.
All three games. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Nuts and Bolts are brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant games.
I'm conscious of your time. You got 4 minutes. So last one. This is from Styx. What is the game that lived up to trailer and social media hype?
Oh God.
And what was the game that didn't?
Well, Anthem. For me.
Yeah, because Anthem was very hype, wasn't it?
And it wasn't that bad a game. Like I've played it a little bit, and I actually quite enjoyed it. But I was just expected so much. We've talked about this a million times in this podcast about how hype can kill anything, really. In terms of one that did live up, the most recent for me is probably Modern Warfare. Like I expected a lot.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I got it. Like I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
How about you?
Mate, again, this is one I'm going to have to think on and answer next week.
All right, bonus content.
Yeah, bonus content.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
because these are great. These are questions now that
this is the bloody problem, isn't it? When we ask each other questions like, "Oh, that's a stupid question. I'll just answer it." Whereas these are really seriously good.
They
deep
are
questions, and as two esteemed representatives of gaming.
Yeah. Well, this is what we
can't
do,
look like
right?
dickheads.
Like you know, we check
Also
out some
unusual.
stories and stuff and news that we're going to talk about in bits and pieces, and then we go, we'll dive into the questions on the fly. But what I'm really admiring from our Legends Club members is that like they are hitting us with stuff that actually we got to hit these a little bit earlier.
Amazing.
And have a think about. Yeah.
Wait, we have to do some prep.
What the fuck, guys? Jesus Christ!
But that's this private Discord channel for our Legends members, amazing. That they are fantastic questions.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Can I just say one thing that I'm finding so awesome as well? So Blue Streak, who is one of our great members, and he's a paramedic.
Yeah, right.
And just a legendary bloke, and he's taking on the mentor program as a mentee. And he's done a bit of writing lately for GameOnOz.com, and he's actually reached out to some great people on Twitter saying, could you offer any tips to someone who wants to get into video game voice acting? So, mate, keep chasing that line.
Yeah.
That's
well,
so cool.
You wrote the book in that, didn't you? You just keep asking questions.
Just keep asking questions. Just go after it. That's great.
Change the way you do it. Don't just repeat your same question. Think of different ways to reach out. It might be a video. It might be, anything. Just
100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that'll be us because you got to go.
I got to go.
You got to go. You got to get to your next meeting. Thank you so much for watching. Everything, subscribe, follow, blah 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 blah. Do all the cool shit.
We love you.
So we love
Happy
you guys
Easter.
so much. Happy Easter!
Easter!
We didn't even do Easter content.
Oh, we didn't.
Fuck's sake. Easter eggs in games.
And my big question was going to be, what's the best Easter egg you've ever seen in a game?
Ask it.
Big.
Bam. Question. It's the bloody big. Go.
What is the greatest Easter egg you've ever seen in a game?
All right, that's it. Thank you. Have a great weekend in gaming, and as we always say, Dan,
don't forget to save and enjoy the 4-day weekend.
Your day.